Panchayat. So both were added in the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. If you take any district, other one district, if you take, you have the DC, SP for the police. This is for police. CEO for rural development. Okay, DFO for forest. DHO for health. Chief Executive Engineering for public work, and so on. So you can name the KS exam only. There is one post, Assistant Commissioner, DYSP. One more post, Kelirbodu, EO. What is EO? Executive Officer. So part 9 and 9A. 2 is there. Part 9 and 9A. This both are local bodies. One is Panchayati Raj Institution, other one is urban local bodies. Urban bodies and rural bodies. So we finished with center, we finished with state and union territory. Next is local bodies. Local bodies. See, this is how the constitution also is there. 5 central government, 6 and 7 states. 7 illa abdi. 8 union territories. 9 local bodies. Simple. Local bodies only these two. First one is Panchayat. So both were added in the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. These two. Both were added in the 73rd and 74th. So 243 article. Anyways, we'll come to that. Is that understood, all of you? So now we'll do part 9, which is rural local body. Rural local body. There are 2 types of local bodies: rural local body, urban local body. Rural local body. So the idea is to promote grassroots democracy. Grassroots democracy. Democracy at the lowest level. So local body lu kuda we elect members. So local body administration also done by people. So local democracy done by. Is that okay? See, now if you take any district, you have DC. Okay. Then you have SP. Then you have CEO. Then you have DFO. Then you have DHO and other departments. Chief Executive Engineer. If you take any district, other one district, if you take, you have the DC, SP for the police. This is for police. CEO for rural development. Okay, DFO for forest. DHO for health. Chief Executive Engineering for public work, and so on. Okay, you have education department, every social welfare, district social welfare officer, backward class officer. So you have, these are the main. DC, revenue department head, and coordinating between all other departments. Is that okay? So he will chair the district administration. These are specific departments. DC is the overall coordinator. So DC calculate what you are going to aspire. DC, ADC, AC, Tahsildar, Revenue Inspector, Village Accountant. This is your hierarchy if you are joining this. Police andre SP, ASP, DYSP, Inspector, Sub-Inspector, Head Constable, Constable. This is your Revenue Department CEO, EO, PDO. Panchayat Development Officer, Executive Officer and CEO. DFO, ACF, Assistant Conservator of Forest. Illi DCF anta Deputy Conservator of Forest or District Forest Officer. ACF, RFO, Range Forest Officer. Forester, Forest Guard or Forest. Is that okay? Like this hierarchy. So you will be going into this department, revenue department. But when in the district, you are also called the revenue head and also executive magistrate and head of the district also. Anything, elections, health, education, everything you will coordinate between all the departments. So the CEO, why I'm telling now is the CEO. Earlier, rural development ke liye, there was no local bodies. Before 73rd, it was not a constitutional position. So all rural development came under the DC only. Now what has happened? The rural development is done by whom? By the elected representatives. You have village panchayat, taluka panchayat, Zilla panchayat. They will be deciding the rural administration. El road agbeku. Elli electricity, where housing, where lakes, where all rural development will be taken by whom? ZP, Taluk Panchayat and Village Panchayat. Respectively, village andre village level alli, Taluk andre Taluka level, Zilla andre Zilla Panchayat alli, whatever relevant development has to take place, they have to take place at that level. Municipality andre municipality il barutte. Is that okay? Fine. Now, this CEO, why is it now separate andre? Whatever the panchayats will decide, who will have to execute it? Who will execute these rural development? Executive officer, chief executive officer. Arthaita. Munche DC used to do that. Now it has been split. And who does that? The rural development department. In a district, who heads the rural development? CEO. EO. So you can name the KS exam alli, there is one post, Assistant Commissioner, DYSP. One more post, Kelirbodu, EO. What is EO? Executive Officer. What is their role? Rural development in coordination with Panchayats. Very powerful post actually. Yakandre all rural development will be done by them. Many students, when I was training them for interview, they have not given EO only. Sir, EO yakenta they have not given. I'm like, EO is very good. After AC, DYSP, you should give EO. Why? Because EO is rural development. Electricity, road, housing, drinking water, sanitation, lakes, agriculture development, everything comes under. Like that you have others also, like you have district agriculture officer. Exam nadita ide. Postpone aito or something like that. AO, agriculture officer, district agriculture officer, promotion. Agriculture, horticulture officer is there. So all district, any department will have a head in district under the coordination of DC. CEO is also an IAS officer. SP is an IPS officer. DC is a IAS officer. DFO is a Indian Forest Service officer or Karnataka State Forest Service. So why I'm telling you is you should know how district work, because now we have part 9, Panchayats. So Panchayat is a 3-tier system. You have one at village, one at district and one at taluk, middle, intermediate level. Okay, na? Fine. Before that, let's try to understand the history quickly. Again, I won't spend too much time here, but be aware of it. Rajasthan was the first state to constitute Panchayats in the year 1959. But ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು this Panchayats, okay, or local bodies, it was a state subject. It was a state subject. Meaning what? Meaning what? The state had to enact law. Understand this. Enact law to create Panchayati Raj Institution. It was a state subject, so state had to enact law. Which was the first state to enact this law? Then others, Karnataka la ittu. Karnataka also had laws to enact these laws, but did not have any constitutional status. Panchayati Raj did not have a constitutional status because it was left to the state to create these bodies. Many states made the law, but never implemented them. They made laws, but never gave it powers. NammaKPSC, only on paper it was there, because it was not a powerful position. And many states did not enact laws. Why? Because if they enact laws, they'll have to give it power. Their power will become less. Whose power? State government, CM and ministers. Their power will become less. Correct? No. If they give powers to local body, road, electricity, etc., if they give it to local bodies, what will what money will the ministers make? So ministers want to make money, they will keep all the powers to themselves. So they did not enact laws, or they made laws but never created one. First time elections aito. After that, they never conducted elections. So did not have power, did not have uniformity. Every state had its own system. So the true democracy, grassroots democracy, was not implemented. True grassroots democracy was not implemented. So to solve that and create a uniform system, we had to bring constitutional amendment. Understood? We had to create a new provision within the constitution to give panchayats a constitutional status. But the problem is, amending the constitution, especially the state subject, requires what? Rajya Sabha also is there, plus approval by states also. So it was complicated. Till 90s, we were setting up committees. Balwant Rai Mehta Committee, Ashok Mehta Committee, GKV Rao Committee, LM Singhvi Committee. Itara committees were set up who recommended that please set up local bodies. But Parliament could not enact constitutional amendment because states were not willing to support. Yakandre states saying, no, we don't want this. We want to keep all the powers to ourselves. It is state subject. Why are you interfering? Finally, during Rajiv Gandhi's time, in 1993, Rajiv Gandhi time allo aglilla. They passed, but it failed. Then later, PV Narasimha Rao's time, 1993, 73rd constitutional amendment was enacted, which gave constitutional status to panchayats. It made it compulsory for every state to enact a law to give effect to 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Subject was not changed. State subject still remained the same. I'll help you to understand what this law says. See, still panchayats is under state subject, number one. So every state now has to enact a law according to 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Is that okay? They have to enact it and have to give powers. So, the Constitutional Amendment Act, they have listed, these are the compulsory things every state has to enact in their law. So, what does this 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act say? It added Part 9 into the Constitution. This Part 9 says that every state make law. Every state make law. And in this law, they should have certain features. Compulsorily, they should have. So who will make law still? State government. That power is not taken by the central government. State government only will make law. Like Karnataka has a Karnataka Panchayat Act. Karnataka only will make, but that act has to contain what? Certain features mentioned in part 9. It can't experiment. In constitutionally, that has to be there in the law. So what is the advantage now? Uniformity throughout the country, same type of panchayats. Even though the law is made by the state, same across state. And there are some compulsory provision under elections aglebeku once in 5 years. If elections are not held within 6 months, then once the panchayats are dissolved, elections should be held within 6 months. Okay, reservation should be given. Itara, there are provisions which we will see tomorrow. So those provisions has to be there in the state laws. Any doubt? Understood? So what is this? So in 1992, the government finally pushed to constitution and it came into force in 1993, 24th April 1993. So tomorrow what we will be studying is what does this 9th part contain? So it contains compulsory part and voluntary part. Compulsory part andre eno? I just told you. Compulsory means the state law should contain these things. Whatever you name it, anything, but these powers should be there in the law. Then it also contains voluntary part. Voluntary and it is left to the state. You want, you can add it. If you don't want, don't want. Example, see, reservation for SC, ST women, compulsory. They should give reservation. SC, ST based on population and 1/3 reservation for women. Now, voluntary provision is reservation for OBC. 1/3 compulsory for women. They can give 1/5 also. They can give more, but minimum 1/3. OBC, if they want, they can give. If they don't want, they don't have to give. So every state now has enacted law which gives reservation for SC, ST and no choice in that. Artha aita? So what did you understand from this? Even though local body is a state subject, local body comes under the state government. But still, there is uniformity because the constitution mandates that every state enacts a law to make panchayats compulsory. Same thing, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, 9A makes it for urban local bodies. Okay, we'll end the class with this. Tomorrow we'll take it up from here. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.